Greetings, and today we're gonna make a bit of a positive video. I want to talk about things that I like in the game, which are the gun designs, and I'm gonna make a list of the top 20 best looking guns. The only rule is no exotics, because I think that's more interesting if you're ranking the legendaries. And without further ado, let's get into the list. I'm gonna warn you immediately, a lot of the weapons that are on the list are no longer available. That's unfortunate, but with that being said, maybe we can hope that Bungie perhaps maybe brings some of these weapons back, because they genuinely have good visual design, and I wouldn't mind those weapons being recycled. So without further ado, let's get in to the list. Number 20 is the Boudreaux C, which is a sidearm, not a unique design. Also, being at the 20th rank doesn't mean the weapon itself is bad or anything. All of the weapons on the list I really like, and the reason I like this one is it's just a little stubby 9mm pistol. It's just kind of funny that this thing exists in the game and is kind of competing, legitimately competing with other weapons that are in crazy futuristic guns that shoot lasers and other weird non-physical projectiles. And then we just have a 9mm pistol here. The funniest thing about this one is that in theory, just in theory, this thing can kill the witness. You know, if you land the last hit on the raid, in theory, this little baby pistol can kill a god. Now, it would make more sense if it was 45 ACP, because we all know that is God's cartridge. But 9mm seems to do the job pretty well. You know, you want to kill Oryx? 9mm pistol. You want to kill the witness? 9mm pistol. It's kind of funny how this gun just exists in this game and is, you know, it's usable. And yeah, it's not, again, in the game right now. There isn't a tiered version of this gun. They could bring that one back. I'm always a big fan of just little stubby pea shooters in a game like this, because I feel like even with all the futuristic guns, there's absolutely place for like really small scale conventional firearms, and bonus points if they make them usable and good, because that adds to the fun factor or the comedic factor of the whole ordeal. You know, you're an unkillable godlike entity, millions of minds fused through apotheosis into like one being, and then a loot goblin guardian comes along and kills you with his 9mm pistol in hopes to get the raid exotic. It's kind of just funny the way this thing works out. So that's why this weapon here gets the number 20 spot. It's just kind of a pistol. Next one is the number 19. The Bane of Sorrow. Kind of unfortunate that you can't get rid of the mouse cursor here unless I get rid of the entire menu, but you can kind of see it the way it is here. Why is this one cool? First of all, it is indeed a unique design that has not been entirely replicated on other machine guns. Also, it's a big boy. It's a really big boy. Now, it's, I think, not the biggest model of machine guns, but it's a high impact frame. It looks really gnarly. You can barely see the runes on it. It has like slight influence of the Hive there. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a mix between like Cabal and Hive stuff, because the raid this comes from had that mix going on, or alternatively it is supposed to be like a repurposed weapon from the Vanguard. It might possibly be PvP gear that has been corrupted somehow by Hive influence. The idea of these weapons were they're rusty, they have been used, they've kind of been discarded in the area of the raid, and that's the whole theme of the weapon. I like the unique attempt that they made here, and with certain shaders you can make this one look like it's absolutely charred black, like you actually pulled it out of a fire or something. It's really cool the way shaders work on this, and again, it looks really fucking good. Like, look at the muzzle in front of this. This is a gigantic bore. What is that? What kind of caliber is this thing shooting? Look at that. That's crazy. I just love it. And out of all the LMGs in the game, I think this one is one of the more unique ones. A lot of the LMGs kind of follow the similar looking formula. A lot of them are very samey looking. I like this one just being bulky and fat and huge and just, you know, it just looks cool. Out of all the LMGs, I like this one from its design standpoint. Again, it's no longer in the game because it was from an old raid. It would be kind of nice if the raid and the weapons came back. Imagine this one with updated stats and or updated tier systems, you know, a tier 5 version of this gun, and you got a good weapon. The next one, number 18, is Crime Mutiny. Yes, I know, it's a grenade launcher. A lot of the grenade launchers don't really look that good. This is one that has a unique thing going for it because it's supposed to be a literal cannon launcher. It's a cannon. And yeah, that's all it is. I just think this thing looks goofy as hell. I love it. I love how this looks. A lot of the grenade launchers in the game are very samey looking. They don't really have anything going for them. It's like big drum magazine, grip, foregrip, that's it. It's very difficult to find a good looking one, but I wanted to put at least one on the list, and it needs to be the literal cannon. There's not much else to say about this. It's, you know, it's a cannon in its entirety. Even design-wise, they got the entire cannon look down. It's really good. Visually, it's exceptionally well done. Again, seasonal weapon, no longer relevant in the game, no longer attainable. There is another weapon that kind of looks like a cannon, which is a shotgun. That is craftable. This one is also craftable, but again, not really relevant anymore. It can't be tiered, so you're never gonna get a tier 5 version of this one. Maybe they'll bring it back at some point, but yes. For it being a cannon launcher, I also feel like it should maybe be a unique grenade launcher. That would be kind of cool. Fires slow-moving cannonball projectiles. Why not? I wouldn't mind more unique grenade launchers in the game, because there's a serious lack of variation in the grenade launcher category. But that is Crime Mutiny, the cannon, aka heavy grenade launcher. Next one on place number 17 is Lubray's Ruin. Now, glaives on the list. I know. I just wanted to put at least one glaive on there. It couldn't have been the exotic ones. And this one isn't too good when it comes to the in-game stats. Also, this weapon, again, it's craftable, but it's no longer really truly relevant due to the fact that it cannot be tiered. But out of all the glaives, for one, it is unique. There is some lore attached to this because it is supposedly the glaive that Rogue actually used. You know, it obviously, I think, is a different model, or at least a little bit different. It has like pyramid energy pulsing through the blade. Also means that certain shaders work really, really well on this and make it look quite interesting depending on which shaders you're applying here. It is just one of the examples here of one of the shaders that you might be applying to this weapon. Anything that has like red glow effects is going to work absolute wonders on this thing. Is it usable in-game? Yes. Is it super relevant to anything? Not really, but it is one of the cooler looking glaives out there. And out of all the glaives, I think if I choose any glaive to put on the list, this one probably has to go there because it is actually lore relevant. Number 16 is the Ignition Code. Yes, I know, it's a grenade launcher, one of the special grenade launchers, but why is this here? First of all, it was the first of its kind. Since then, unfortunately, this design has been replicated in different grenade launchers, but from the point this was introduced, it was the first of its specific design. Before that, a lot of the breech-loaded grenade launchers all had kind of a similar design going on, meaning that kind of, you know, the age-old design, like the Malicious Birthright is the best example. They all look kind of like this. But then Ignition Code came along and looked different. That is why I'm mostly giving it the place here, because it is kind of a futuristic looking grenade launcher. It also had the absolutely goated combination of slide shot, meaning that you could just kind of slide, reload, shoot, slide, reload, shoot. That is no longer all that unique to this grenade launcher, but it was kind of the first grenade launcher where I really realized, oh damn, this weapon type is like really, really good just to use as like a general overall primary weapon, almost like a primary weapon, because you can kind of just shoot, slide, and that reloads the gun. Besides that, the entire tech-inspired Fallen design here is really nice. Again, it isn't a unique model anymore, but for the time being, this was like the first actually kind of tech-inspired grenade launcher that they put in the game. And for what it is, and for how far it actually deviated from the old grenade launcher models, I think it's commendable for what they did here. It's really good looking. This was like a futuristic grenade launcher, if I ever imagined a futuristic looking grenade launcher. So that's why it is here at a spot. Number 15. This one is the 7th Seraph Carbine. I don't know why they actually wrote out 7th instead of just making it a number, but why is this here? Well, because it's a really sleek looking auto rifle. Or in this case, it's supposed to be a carbine, I guess. But it's once again a mixture of futuristic tech and conventional weaponry. And I really, really adore this design in video games and movies. Mix what works, what exists in real life with tech-inspired stuff. A little bit of a mix, and you got a good thing going on there. Yeah, I mean, does all of this make sense? The attachments and stuff, I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. You know, from a weapon expert standpoint, maybe this gun doesn't make any sense at all. But to a absolute gun noob like me, this looks cool. It's just a cool design. It's really, really nicely done. Very sleek, very round for some reason. And yeah, it's a simple carbine. A lot of the weapons that came from this specific seasonal release, even though the season itself wasn't good, look awesome. And they are also no longer relevant in the game because, once again, even though you can still get this gun, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you still can get this gun, it is not tiered loot and it cannot be crafted, and it also isn't rolling extremely good perks. However, I think it's pretty okay in PvP, but yeah, for what it is, I just wish they brought it back. I think they already repriced this weapon once, but I really like the design. Simple, smooth, with a little bit, just a little bit of futuristic touches here. It's a conventional firearm. It just works. It just works out in this specific case. I wish they would bring this one back, if only so that I have the gun model again on something that is relevant in today's sandbox. Number 14. The original Drang, the OG one. Why is this here? Mostly because there's lots and lots of history and memories attached to it. It is the pair to Sturm, which is my favorite hand cannon in the game. It is also attached to a pretty neat quest. It is also a very lore heavy item. It is also a very, very traditional looking handgun. This is the best example for finding ye good old reliable shooty shooter in a video game. You know, when you're finding like a repeating Winchester rifle in like a futuristic game or with modern guns, and then you pick up a Winchester along the way and it's like somehow one of the best guns in the game. This is the feel this one is giving me. This is like a golden age, really, really old weapon. Clearly, obviously designed after a classic gun, and that is why I hold this in high regards. I also think the model of this one is better than all of the repriced versions that we got. And again, there's a certain sentimentality to this. It's a quest item. Again, it doesn't roll anything specific. It is literally just these perks that you get on this because it was one of the old guns of the release of the game where they didn't have random stats. So what you see is what you get. And design-wise, this gun is amazing. For a legendary weapon, this thing looks really fucking cool. The gold, the ornaments, you know, implying like space travel, colonization, space colonization. That's the idea. It comes from the captain of the ship that crashed on Nessus. It is involved in a quest where you find the skeleton of the deceased captain and then you find the gun on him. This is where you get it. I think it's just a good way to just give you a unique gun. Unfortunately, it is completely irrelevant today, but I just love this model. It just stayed the test of time. It looks better than the other Drang versions that we have gotten. And I wish this model would be brought back. Maybe as a skin, if they ever bring back Drang. Drang is like a really fan favorite gun, so I'm assuming they're gonna reissue the Baroque version of the Drang. Maybe we can put this skin on the Drang and have it look like the OG. That would be kind of nice, wouldn't it be? And that's why it's at this spot. Number 13. Alone as a God. First of all, can I just say that I'm not a guy that is sniping a lot, but imagine you're a super sweaty PvP sniper and you have a weapon that is literally called Alone as a God. Isn't that exactly what you want? As a sniper, you kill people half across the map instantly. They think you're cheating, you're so incredibly good, and then you get killed by Alone as a God. That could literally be like someone's sweaty username. It fits so well. And then the design of this, just look at this thing. It looks crazy good. It's this kind of Cabal / Callous opulent inspired design that's on some of the guns that are from this raid. And it's amazing. It's amazing. This one should come back. By the way, all of the weapons from this raid I feel need to come back. They have been so irrelevant for so many years that I think it's time that we can bring them back. Imagine this sniper now brought back into the modern sandbox. It is now relevant. It has crazy good stats. It was always really good, by the way, even when it was introduced. This would be so fucking cool. It looks great, has a unique design, the gold on it. You don't even have to put a shader on this thing. It just looks amazing the way it is. And again, this is the kind of sleek, futuristic design that I'm hoping for. When you give me like a futuristic gun, combine the things that make sense about a weapon, which is like all of what you're seeing here, the trigger system, etc., and then give it a sleek but kind of believable layout. Don't make it like incomprehensible mess that I don't understand. I don't even know how you would fire something, yada yada yada. We know that there are guns like this in Destiny, and you know, I don't know. Again, a gun expert can probably find 50 million things that are wrong with this, but to me this looks like something that would be usable. And again, what kind of caliber is this thing shooting? Holy hell, that is big. I mean, this is more like the bore, but it's probably shooting a big bullet, seeing as this weapon is from a Cabal raid and is probably possibly used maybe by a Cabal trooper. So it's gonna fire a gigantic round of some sort, you know. But obviously as Guardians we can wield these without issues. It's just, yeah, it's a really, really cool looking weapon. And one of the few snipers. Snipers in this game, by the way, difficult to rank because a lot of this, there's a lot of really good looking snipers in this game. They really, really did a good job with the sniper design. But I think this one, out of all of them, looks the best. There also might be a little bit of nostalgic feelings in here. Maybe that's also the reason why some of the other rankings that we're gonna come across are up there. But yeah, man, I just want this weapon back in the game. I want to see the potential of this one with tiered loot. Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe. Who knows? Linear fusion rifles have the issue of looking very samey and similar. And then we have Line in the Sand at our number 12 spot. Line in the Sand here is absolutely amazing. First of all, yes, we all want to wield the weapons of our enemies. We have made numerous posts about this. I've seen numerous posts about this. The entire community always talks about it. I want to use the Goblin's weapon. I want to use this Cabal weapon, that Cabal weapon. I want to use a Hive weapon. And Bungie gave us one of the Vex weapons right here. And hell yeah, this looks fucking cool. This is a sleek, futuristic, cool looking Vex weapon. It literally looks like you just ripped this out of the hands of a dead Vex and then just use it. Yeah, sure, it has the Saint design on there, so it definitely is of Guardian making, but it's just perfect. It is the best looking linear fusion rifle. Nothing else to say really here. Sleek, futuristic design. This is like alien enough for me to believe that, yup, that could be like a laser cannon, that could be some sort of futuristic sniper, could be some sort of rail cannon. It's just doing its job really well at invoking alien, futuristic, sleek design, unknown origin. Yeah, it obviously has a very human trigger on it, you know, so it's made for humans, I guess, human hands. But still, this is what I want from a futuristic gun. When I say futuristic, weird design, this is what I want, this is what I mean. Give me either conventional weapons and kind of future mock them up a little bit, or give me like super sleek designs like this one. This one is really great. The best looking linear fusion rifle in the game. No contest. Number 11 is the Belligerent XU7743. Now we're getting into the Black Armory stuff. This one specifically is not directly attainable from or wasn't, because it's no longer in the game. It's not directly obtainable from the Black Armory forges, but it was a random open world drop that you could get during the season of the Black Armory. This one is just invoking images of a SPAS 12. I mean, come on. It's a giant, fat, modern shotgun. It's kind of tuned with like tactical gear. I don't really know what the little spike down there is supposed to be. Maybe you can stab one with it, but all of like the laser designator thing on the side, it just screams like the tactical military, modern military style. It also has the Black Armory design. It is a Hake weapon. So the overall body of the weapon isn't unique, but this version of the weapon I think is the most peak version of the shotgun. I just absolutely love the simplistic but also a little bit futuristic design of what could be some sort of SPAS 12 looking kind of gun, maybe, you know, not obviously, not directly, but I just love simple designs like this. I wish this one would come back. And you're gonna see other Black Armory weapons on the list. Just a spoiler, but I absolutely adore this specific lineup. All of the weapons that we got from the season are absolutely peak, 100% peak weapon design. Simple, modernistic, and then with a little bit of tactical gear on there. That's how you get me. Make it tactical, modern military shooter, and you got me. Yeah, I know this is Destiny and it's supposed to be like futuristic guns, but you can't go wrong with a big, giant SPAS 12 shotgun, and this one looks menacing, big boy. As most of the HK weapons, they usually have a bulky design. I just love this one. There is another shotgun on this list later, but for modern military shotgun versions, this one I think for me personally takes the cake as the one that I like the most. And please Bungie, bring that one back. That one is really cool. Number 10 is the Sacred Providence, and I think there was no question that the Garden weapons would make it on the list, or at least some of them. First of all, incredibly sleek design. If we find and go, and I do hate the shader system in this game, by the way, it's so difficult to navigate. Oiled algae, that's what I wanted. Vintage timber or oiled algae. Look at this. Look at how smooth this is. This is a futuristic gun. Look at this. Look at it. I want you to look at it. This is how I imagine a full-on tuned futuristic gun looks like. The sleek design, it kind of narrows down there at the end. It has a little bit of the strange patterns on here. It has that design down there that it's evoking clearly some sort of alien origin. If you took away the magazine there at the end, the bullpup. Is this a bullpup? Does this count as a bullpup? I think so. If you took away the magazine, you might even think that it is shooting lasers of some sort. But with the magazine attached there, you know, it's probably some sort of conventional weapon. But it's tuned all the way. This looks so good. The Garden weapons need the treatment of getting tiered systems. We need to bring this loot back up to snuff. This needs to be in the meta again. This needs to be brought back up. First of all, the reason to give me to play Garden again. Second of all, I want to get this weapon again. I want to get like a tier 5 version of this thing because it's so good. It is, I don't know, I barely have any words to describe this. It just fits together so well, the entire design. It's so perfect. Round, sleek, smooth, amazing, amazing, amazing weapon. All of the designs from the Garden are crazy good, and they take shaders super well. Again, oiled algae being an absolute highlight of all of these because you get like this incredibly white, black, smooth design here. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Best looking pulse rifle in the entire game. Number 9 is the 7th Seraph Officer Revolver. I don't know who is an officer and who is using this, but it for sure looks like a futuristic law enforcement gun. Now, what else is there to say about this? Again, we have like a sleek design. We have the kind of box, like, you know, a little bit fat. It's a little bit overweight for a gun, but it's exactly how I imagine a futuristic weapon to look like. This is like a cyberpunk weapon. This could be something that some Night City policeman uses. It's just, it's perfect. The only thing that is a little bit unfortunate about this gun is that it's actually a 180 precision frame. With a weapon design like this, being this massive, I expected it to be like 120. Big, heavy. It has like a trigger guard too. That I didn't even know. It's got a trigger guard. It's, yeah, I just wish it was a 120. I have nothing much to say about this. This is like one of the best looking hand cannons out there. Smooth, box-like futuristic design. It's a cyberpunk gun. Might also take I think it has a laser. This is supposed to be like a laser down there. So it has a built-in laser already. Yeah, cool looking gun. Again, one of the same season weapon rewards here. Incredibly good design. A lot of the war set inspired weapons are really good, and unfortunately also no longer relevant in the game because this one is also not a weapon that can get a tier 5 version. Unfortunate, but you know, Bungie likes to re-offer and reiterate on loot, so maybe this one's gonna come back. I really wished it would become like a 120 though. Big, heavy hitting iron on your hip. That would be great, because if I just feel like this is supposed to be a bigger, heavy hand cannon. This is a futuristic hand cannon, a futuristic revolver, if I've ever seen one. Again, this could be a cyberpunk gun. I mean, a lot of the cyberpunk weapons even have that angular design on the revolver drum. This also looks very similar to the revolver that you see in the Alien game. Yeah, nothing else to say here. Really good, really, really great design. Number 8, the Python. Now you're wondering, isn't that just Parcel of Stardust and Mindbender's Ambition? Actually, not entirely. Yes, it is a similar design, but it's a little bit more stubby. It looks a little bit more fat for some reason. I just think this gun is looks a little bit more weighty than the other guns that share a similar texture and model, and it also has this grip here, which is completely different. It's in its entirety a unique gun that has never been reintroduced. At least this model has never been reintroduced in the game, and I think the iteration of the Gambit shotgun, let's call it like that, classic pump action shotgun, what could be like a Remington or something like this one is the best looking version. This was also really great because you could overflow the magazine with the stats that it had. So you could have like a 12 magazine or 60. I don't know how many shots you could have in a magazine, but you could shoot this gun for a long time before you had to reload if you overflow the magazine. It's just really cool. I wish we had these types of shotguns back in the game. Parcel of Stardust, Mindbender's Ambition, or just this one, because I really like that classic pump action shotgun Remington design. I mean, it should be clear by now that I do like a good mix of classical weapons and futuristic weapons, but I don't like super weird, nonsensical alien design on stuff. That's all right. Some of the raid weapons I really don't like. They go too far with like the alien design, where it almost feels like an AI has made up the gun, or it's like a fever dream of a weapon that makes no sense. This one is a gun that makes sense, kind of makes sense, you know. But yes, it's a classic pump action shotgun. It's just a little bit stubby and fat. It looks like it was kind of squished down a little bit for some reason, but that's what I love about this weapon. It's just, I love it. It's just, it looks a bit goofy, yes, and it's a little bit, it looks a little bit shortened, but it's so cool design-wise. Man, I wish this gun came back. This is like one of the few weapons and some of the seasonal weapons in general that came from challenges, like the Gambit challenge here. They have never been reintroduced. Their perk combinations have never been introduced. Their models have never been brought back into the game. And I feel like it would be kind of nice if we got this gun back. Wouldn't hurt anybody, I think. Number 7, we have a sword finally, and the only sword on this list. The Striker's Sure Hand. Once again, the amazing black armor design, really evoking the entire visual design of the black armor here. And really cool bonus points here. This sword isn't trying to be an edgy katana. It doesn't try to be like a weird cavalry saber with like weird things on the handle that makes it impossible to handle and wield. It's just a classic, almost medieval inspired design, but it has the full-on futuristic vibe going for it. It also invokes a little bit of the Dragon Slayer there with the blades design. And in addition to that, it is the only weapon that isn't just a medieval sword that kind of has that classic sword feel. A lot of the swords in Destiny either are carbon copies of this kind of boxy, this is what I mean. It's like this specific blade is present on so many weapons in this game. And then obviously you have like something like the Crown Splitter, which is a little bit more of a medieval sword, yes, but it's a little bit too simple. And then you have, you know, the katana stuff in there. Out of all the swords, the Striker's Sure Hand is the best looking one. The Hero of Ages I didn't include because it is just a medieval sword. Also, the handle is like really small for how big the guards are. And then this sword design has been replicated so much in the game, it's kind of annoying. You know, your Caretaker is the same one, and then you have a later iteration of it, which is the Abyssal Edge, which is the same design again. And then you have the Striker's Sure Hand, which is a unique design that have never been brought back into the game. And it's just a massive, meaty, two-handed sword. The guard makes sense. The handle makes sense. It's got the futuristic design to it. It's got like super hefty weight to this thing. It's just kind of, again, a little bit of a Dragon Slayer vibe going on too. I just love it. It's the best looking sword in the game, in my opinion, out of the legendary weapons. And again, it's no longer attainable. It's just gone, no longer in the game. Number 6 is, without any kind of surprise, another garden weapon, the Reckless Oracle. And what can I say? This gun has the same smooth design to it, so it takes shaders really well. This one is cool as hell. First of all, it's got a giant drum magazine. It's already really, really cool. It has a crazy good sound design. All of the weapons from the Garden Raid have great sound design. This one sounding exactly like a super fast firing laser weapon. Now still, I'm assuming this weapon here uses conventional ammunition, but again, looks like a laser weapon, might be a laser weapon, is completely smoothed out, completely sleek, futuristic, alien construction. It's crazy good. They really hit the nail on the head with the design of the guns from the Garden Raid. All of them are really, really excellent in how just their overall visual design appears. And again, drum magazine, something that you don't see that often. I don't think you reload the gun by using the drum magazine though, if I remember this correctly. I don't have a copy of this weapon currently, so I can't test it. I don't know how the gun actually is reloaded, but come on, this is clearly supposed to be a giant drum magazine. It's also a fast firing weapon, so it needs a giant magazine. It just makes sense. Nothing else to say here. Same as the pulse rifle from the same raid. Crazy good design. Whoever came up with these designs, these weapon designs, you need to have this guy make more weapons. It's also clearly inspired by Vex. This is what I like about these guns. They clearly invoke that kind of smooth, futuristic Vex design. Yep, there's not much to say about this weapon that hasn't been said about the other Garden weapon. Please bring this one back as well. Number 5, without a singular question, is the Trophy Hunter. What is the biggest sniper rifle in the game? This one. What is the best looking sniper rifle in the game? This one. Which one has the best sound design? This one. I cannot fire the weapon because unfortunately I don't have it anymore, but this is once again a case of you ever wanted to use the weapon that some of the enemies are using? Yup, you can. This is obviously the Scion sniper weapon. Elongated quite a bit. The Scions have like a shortened barrel version. This one is the big boy version. This thing could probably fire railway spikes or cannonballs for all. Look at this. Jesus Christ, man. That is like a 4-bore or something. This weapon is crazy good. And once again, it's never been brought back into the game. This is such a no-brainer. It's such a cool design. Why did they never bring this one back? It's a crazy good sounding weapon too. Also takes shaders well and has a unique ornament. This is the same kind of ornament as on the minigun. Makes the gun look even cooler, you know? These are weapons that we have ornaments for that are not in the game currently. If anything needs to come back, any sniper, any weapon, this needs to be it. This needs to be it. If there's any special weapon I want back in the game, this would be it. This is such a cool design. It is the Cabal sniper. I don't need to say anything else, right? This is the gigantic, biggest, most meanest looking sniper in the entire game. Of course, this would be one of the best looking weapons. No contest. There's no contest that this is the best looking sniper in the entire game. It's such a cool design. Number 4 is the Tempered Dynamo. And if you told me what is the quintessential futuristic weapon design, this is it. This is exactly how you imagine a future gun to look like. It is this kind of box-like design with an undefined barrel. There could be anything that comes out of this weapon. Obviously, certain parts of the weapon kind of imply what might be fired from it, but just from the looks of it, what could this one be? Could be a futuristic shotgun, could fire laser blades or some sort of disc-shaped object. If you look at the opening here, this could fire, it could be a disc thrower, who knows, it could be a laser, a shotgun, could be anything really. This is what I mean. First of all, Black Armory design, peak, obviously. This thing looks crazy good. It's one of the best looking fusion rifles in the game. A lot of the other fusion rifles just followed a similar design philosophy of just kind of looking mediocre, and they all kind of look the same. This one had a unique design. I love the kind of completely open chassis that it has. There you can see kind of the inner workings of the gun, and it is very applicable as just a futuristic gun. If you ask me, you know, what is like the generic futuristic design that people come up with? You know, a kid makes like a futuristic weapon, and it's usually like you see so many of these box designs with like the really flat, undefined, gigantic barrel in the front, where you just don't know like what is the caliber that this gun is shooting? What is this entire thing up there? Is that thing the entire barrel? What is the bore size on this thing? Like what could it fire? You know, this to me is like quintessentially futuristic design in weapon. That's why I love it so much. This could again be anything. Laser weapon, could be some weird sniper, could be like a beam weapon, could be, you know, a gun that fires an electric discharge like it does here in this game, you know. And again, it's no longer in the game. It just was part of the Season of the Forge. I think this one specifically comes from the raid too. So it's a raid weapon that is no longer available, and it's a crying shame. It is a crying shame. It is such a good looking weapon. Just please, Bungie, bring the old raids back. Give us tuned and updated loot from the raids. Would be so cool. Would be so cool to attempt to get the titles again and get the armor that's from the raid. The armor from this raid looks really cool as well. Who knows? Who knows? This also has different sights, different sight options that you can choose from. Also really interesting. One of the weapons that you had the choice for sights. I think all of the Black Armory weapons had sight choices you could make. Peak weapon design right there. Needs to be back in the game. Number 3, there's an SMG, the Atalanta D XG1992. I don't know what these numbers mean. If you ask me what is the coolest looking SMG in the game, no question, this one. We could do without that little stubby missile thing down there on the barrel, but this is a weapon with a gigantic silencer. It has the cool Hake SMG design. It has the tactical gear set up there with like some sort of laser on the side there. It has the Black Armory design. It is a mixture of a little bit of tech and conventional weapons design. It's just kind of a small stubby SMG. And again, it has one of the few weapons in the game that has a silencer that actually changes the sound profile of the weapon. Now, silencers don't do anything as far as I know, but it would be kind of cool if they did something in PvP maybe. Or maybe they do something in PvP and I just don't know it. But we have so few weapons in the game that have silencers. We have so few weapons in the game that have a design that incorporates a silencer that are relevant today. And we don't have any of the Black Armory weapons in the game anymore. If you take out the little stabby thing on the front there, this gun will look perfect. It is such a great design. There's another Hake design that just has a silencer and looks similar, but I think like all of the little attachments here that the Black Armory version had just make it look tactical. And I'm a sucker for tactical gear. And if you give me this conventional weapon, giant silencer with a little bit of futuristic gear attached to it, I'm all over it. This is the best looking SMG in the game, and I want this weapon back. Out of all of the SMGs, all of the things, because I never got a good roll. I farmed this weapon during the Black Armory season and I never got a good roll for this one, so I was kind of a little bit miffed at the time that I couldn't get a good roll. Then I gave up on farming this, and then they sunset the entire thing, so now I can never get a good version of this weapon. This one was another open world drop that you could just get during the season, and yeah, it's gone. It's no longer available. It's a crying shame that all of the cool looking weapons you can no longer get. Unfortunate. I think some of the modern designs that Bungie put out just can't keep up with like their old stuff. I'm sorry to say, but it's just such a simple design too. You don't need to give me much, but please don't give me weapons that have like cancer growing on them. I don't like that. That doesn't look good. But give me something like this and I'm, yes, thumbs up, more of this please. I don't know where these guns designs went. They're just so rare nowadays. We got a bunch of weird designs that I personally am not really a fan of, but all of the conventional stuff is, I don't know, maybe they don't like doing this anymore. Number 2, no surprise here, the best looking scout in the entire game. Look at this thing. Look, just God. Look at this design, man. It's so good. Scout rifle, Black Armory from the raid. Man, oh man. What would I not give to have this weapon back? Fun fact, I think I never dropped this weapon more than once. I think I had a version of this weapon because it was really difficult for me to get this from the raid. And it wasn't a good loot combination, a good perk combination. There's nothing here to say that I haven't said about the other weapons. It has the Black Armory design. It has the cool box design. It has the futuristic design. It has kind of an open chassis design where you can see some of the inner workings. I think that's part of like the Black Armory where you can kind of see the craftsmanship of the weapon. It's so highly detailed with all like the little things going on there. And it has this kind of slim, sleek, narrowed down design. This is the best looking scout in the game. So many scouts just follow like a super generic design philosophy, and so many scouts are just carbon copies of each other where they just put something onto model and just ship it. The Black Armory weapons were so unique in their design, and they never brought them back. I don't know why this design is completely gone from some of the weapons nowadays. Black Armory was peak, and I think a lot of people agree. Black Armory weapon design was peak. Somebody put real effort into these weapons. And yeah, imagine this being a really good scout. Modern perk combinations, can get tier 5. Man, it's so disappointing seeing that this is no longer in the game, man. Well, I can stare at all I want, it's not gonna bring the weapon back. Let's go to our number 1 spot. Number 1, and this is the epochal, what? epochal integration? I don't know how to pronounce this. Bungie, this is an absolute crime. This weapon is an absolute criminal offense. First of all, this gun was shown to us in the trailer for Lightfall, but then wasn't introduced in the game. Then they gave us a singular version of the weapon, which had non-rollable stats. There is one and only one version of this weapon in the game, and it's the one that you see right here with those stats. Nothing else can be done with the weapon. It is not craftable. It cannot be changed. There is no alternative stats on the weapon. It is also obviously completely irrelevant now because of the changes to the loot system. This is a unique looking hand cannon. Yes, of course, it shares a little bit of the design space with Kate's hand cannon. It is clearly Kate's hand cannon in the base model, but the attachments is where it's at. This is essentially an exotic hand cannon in legendary form. It is one of the few, I think the only hand cannon that has a silencer. It has a laser that is visibly turned on. It has crazy detailed design. If you took off the animated shader thingy that's on it and maybe even gave it like a more normal looking gunmetal look, this would be crazy good. It's a Bungie. Why? This is just, I don't understand why. This would be such an easy win. Bring this weapon back with random stats. You can farm it, you can get it up to tier 5, whatever. It would be such a win. This is like one of the most unique hand cannon designs in the game. And the worst part of it is they gave this weapon, they handed it out as like a we are sorry with a few perks. And that's all. You can't do anything else with the weapon. It's those perks that you see there, that's it. That's all that there is to the weapon. And it's just relegated. It came out, it immediately wasn't great, and it immediately left everyone's mind. And it is completely and utterly irrelevant now. Such a good weapon design relegated to nothingness, irrelevancy, just because they forgot to put it into the actual release and then were forced to give it away later as a we are sorry gift to the community. And that's why they half-assed this weapon. This needs to be in the game. It's an absolute crying shame that this hasn't been brought back. It is the best looking weapon in the game. It is legitimately on the level of an exotic, the design work that's been done here. It doesn't have the same level of detail as some of the Black Armory weapons, but for the fact that it's a hand cannon and it's decked out to this degree with attachments, which you usually never see on any gun. There isn't a single hand cannon that looks like this in the game. And it's just sad. And I don't understand why Bungie hasn't brought this one back. Would be an easy inclusion. And it's a gun model that's already in the game, so there is not much work to be done. If you don't want to change the animated shader on it, then just leave it on, But it would be easy to just kind of take it off, give it like a tactical, look to it, have it be gunmetal black, or give it like the Black Armory shader. That would be a win-win-win situation. But for now, this gun, if you got it back in the day, you can still pull it from collections and be really sad about it. It's a really good looking 140 that is unfortunately just not really usable in any context because it's just outshined by any other hand cannon in the game. And that's the fate of this weapon. That's the fate of many weapons on this list. Maybe I did this list to kind of highlight the fact that there is really good design space in this game, but Bungie refuses to use their good designs and bring them back into the game and gives us either weird iterations of gun designs and models that we've seen a million times, or they just make really ugly looking models for I don't know what reason. But I don't like a lot of the new gun designs at all. Exotics are a completely different beast. A lot of the exotics do look good, but some of the modern gun models I really don't like. I'm a huge fan of the Black Armory design, and then everything that has like tactical gear attachments, I'm all over. Yeah, I just wish that Bungie would bring back some of these weapons on the list. That's one of the reasons why I made it, hoping that, maybe we'll get these guns at a later point. With how environmentally friendly Bungie is and how often they recycle stuff, I fully expected them to bring back some of these iconic guns. I would argue that some of these guns on the list are iconic. People would absolutely love to see the Cabal Sniper back in the game. That was an absolutely goated weapon back in the day. But yeah, maybe a little bit of a melancholic video, but it's also something that is positive because it highlights that there is really good design space in this game. There are really good artistic designs in this game. That is one of Bungie's absolute strong suit. The art design is absolute peak in this game. And I hope I could highlight this in this video, and maybe you had fun watching along and got a little bit nostalgic about the weapons as well. Let's just hope that if Bungie and Destiny 2 is around for a few more years, that maybe we will get some of these weapons back. That's mostly it. See you next time.